This is your weekend market review for Friday, August 23rd, 2024. Let's go. Hey everyone, this is my channel to help investors and traders develop a probability-based mindset to succeed. Also try and keep friends informed of what's going on in the markets and the economy, and also a little real estate content as well. This is Dan Max at eXp Realty, aka the Trading Agent. This is your daily market review for Friday, August 23rd, 2024. Hopefully you're having a great week. Interesting day. Surprised by the close? Yes. I honestly thought we'd sell off a little more going into the Friday. However, we chopped back some action, very wide and loose the last couple days, and not super wide, but definitely loose, up and down intraday. Definitely seeing some, I don't know, what I'd consider red flags, but again, it's a probability-based game. There are going to be times when you see red flags, and guess what? Nothing happens from them. And again, that's the hardest part about trading, is you think it's always going to be a certain way. Then you're going to learn the hard way that it isn't, because that's not what the market does. So we know going into next week, it's a pretty light week. It's not even the jobs number, but you do have durable orders on Monday, some housing data, NVDA on Wednesdays, the only really earnings with CRM and some other things. They have GDP on Thursday, Lulu, Dell, Ulta, and then some PCE action on Friday. Not heavy kind of data news week, but there is some stuff going on. And so got to be prepared. Let's go over the levels. Let's talk about what we've seen today. Again, interesting action. Impressed by the close, but also, again, not surprised by it. So let's go. Let's check it out. All right. Want to join the Discord room? Link description below. I appreciate all the love, support, generous donations. You guys are amazing. Follow on Twitter, posting all of our trades. If you want to chat about real estate, want to chat about the markets, looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate, take 30 minutes, click on the Zoom link through Calendly, and let's chat. Also, check out the website. Got all plenty of stuff. And again, remember what the goal is. You know what the goal is. Turn profits into properties and passive income. Trading agent. Again, recommended reading. All sorts of fun stuff and resources. All the Back to Basics series on the website and also on our YouTube channel. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. I'm telling you, well worth it. All right. So we know going into the September meeting, we're anticipating one rate cut minimum. It's kind of fluctuating around. Based on what Powell said this week, again, I think he tried not to disappoint the market versus really say anything of any importance. Said about like we need to probably cut some rates at some point, yada, yada, yada. Market already knows that. So, and the problem is if you ever see what happens when the Feds typically cut rates, things get fugly. Now, could we chop around until the September meeting? Like that's always got to be in the back of your mind. So if you're trading options, define your risk, give yourself some time, be safe. Bitcoin got over the 61,000 area. All right, next resistance probably somewhere around 65. Could it get back up to 68? Worth a watch. Oil, big bounce today. Again, this has got to be pissing off the Feds because every time they sound a little bit dovish, everything rallies. Except for natural gas, which, perfect. Let this thing come down again. We like natural gas long term. I like it with the one handle somewhere near the range lows. Let's kind of speed this up. Dollar, absolute smash today. Like opens up, gives it all back, takes out yesterday's lows. TLT, as I said, I think this is the easiest trade longer term because, again, if they're projecting 12 rate cuts coming up, again, that could always change, subject to change. I don't have any doubt that we're going to go higher on the TLT, lower rates in time. VIX, nice Friday VIX smash, I guess. We talked about it bouncing off of support. Okay, a little back it up, back it in, keep an eye on it. VIVIX, this thing got really pounded today, especially at the close. Interesting action. Remember, the VIVIX usually bottoms first. So watching that 50-day SPY, nice rally back after yesterday's kind of open up, close lows. You gapped up today. Again, could it retest the highs, make new highs? I mean, this is the hardest part about picking tops and bottoms. Again, the risk and reward is in your favor, but you still have to define it. You can't just sit here and hold it, hopefully, hoping that you're never wrong. QQQQQQ, right? Doji Day kind of lagging again. This is why we think tech is the best short. Looks like it. Again, confirmed with the Qs, watching the 50-day. Simple. IWM, nice rally today. Decent volume. This one's a little bit anomaly in my mind. I'm not surprised it's trying to catch up. But today's action, a little bit of, So just worth keeping an eye on. DIA, as we've talked about, this one's just been chopping around. It broke the trend line today, confirmed. Decent volume. I had some resistance here, though. It's just worth eyeing because, again, we've seen traps. Speaking of traps, right? The gold breaks out, comes back, breaks out, comes back. I had a power outage last night and I didn't save any of my lines, which is awesome. And yeah, so again, I think there's one of those things where in general, if I'm watching gold, I don't know how you want to draw this perfectly. I mean, again, it's in a channel here, but trend is up clearly. Silver bounced back today pretty strong after yesterday's pullback. Again, chopping around. Again, I don't trust the miners in gold if the market's gonna be pulling back. It's just they don't lead up, and it's kind of nervous. You got to be nervous if the junior miners aren't leading. Now, again, can we be wrong? Absolutely. People are like, you're wrong. It's like, guys, we don't. The goal is not to ever be not wrong. Like again, you can't do that. It's a trading. It's like playing poker. You can't win every hand, but you put the probabilities in your favor. It's the best you can do. AEM chopping around, right? New highs again. This one's been strong. AG lagging. Watching this one kind of chop around. Newmont 52, got a 52 handle today. New little high, but I've been watching this gap here. Again, that's such tight action up here. Just it feels like distribution, but on a quiet level. Like shh, pass, same thing, pass on it. Taiwan Semi again. Let's go through some of these tech names that have been lagging. Talked about this failing up here at the gap, chopping around. Keep an eye on it. Macron. Talked about this one being a dog, due for a bounce. Gets into the old gap. VAP zone. Now it's just chopping around. AM Dizzle. Chopping around, right? Hit some major resistance of moving averages. NVDA, decent bounce today. Got to give it credit where credit's due, right? Chopping around. You got resistance here clearly at the 130 level. Just again, keep an eye on it all. But SMCI, watching the 20-day, just chopping. Intellectual property. We talked about Intel being a turd. It's due to bounce, obviously. But yesterday's candle. And then today, I mean, the action is just kind of weak. SMH. Some folks have been shorting this. Again, 50-day made sense, filling the gap. I mean, it's always in play, but worth a watch. Adobe. Come on, Adobe. Come on, you got it. Really would like to see some retests of the 570s. If you don't get it, you don't get it. Apple. Been trying to build some shorts up here. Makes sense to me. You're at resistance. I'm not surprised if we see a lower high, especially if tech is lagging. Amazon. Talked about this one yesterday. Big down, red candle. Nothing much today. Just, again, make sure you have your references. Meta pops up, right? Keeps giving it back. Somebody has a lid on this. Is it Zuckerberg selling up here in the 530s? I don't know. CRM, earnings next week. Interesting action today, holding up. I mean, here's the thing. Like the gap is a little higher. Maybe it needs to fill the gap before earnings. Either way, if you're trading it through earnings, you better be careful. Hedge, protect your profits. Or if you don't have any profits, you're just trying to take a gamble. Define your risk. Please be careful. Google, chop around the 20-day. Again, lagging. Microsoft, we talked about this one getting up into the 425, 100-day, 415, 425 area, whatever you want to call this area. Seems to be stuck. Doji today, not so hot. NDAQ took some shorts on this one today. Thank you, Lupus, for reminding me on this thing. Because again, I mean, I think you have great risk reward here. Great risk reward here. Yeah, because I don't think the Nasdaq is the future. Tech is going to not going to be the future of this stuff. MicroStrategy, we talked about. If Bitcoin goes, MicroStrategy should go up back into like the, 170, 180 range. With Bitcoin getting over that 61,000, not surprised. Nice move. I mean, could it get back up here? Absolutely. Bitcoin gets back to the highs. Duh. Netflix and chill, chopping around at the highs, just watching. Roblox. So we talked about this getting over the 41 areas. Doji, wanted to see more information. Held up pretty well today. PanW, this is one of our favorites long term. However, again, it goes, talk about this. You go straight line moves. More you're up, the less you own. Now you start pulling back. You hit support in here. Oops, I'm trying to stretch this over. So far, it's holding. Worth a watch. Day one, but keep an eye on it. Tesla, we like, again, I like to call Tesla like a trading vehicle. Just keep an eye on it. I mean, I don't really trust it like longer term without lower prices. I think it's just going to be a wide and loose stock. So be careful. Insight, talked about this is a great stock. Put this in your portfolio for the long term. I like it in the 50s. Holding trend line. Pfizer had some good data today about getting FDA approval for more COVID vaccines. If you need those things, go right ahead. Be safe. Anyway, trend line, moving averages, worth an eye. McDonald's, seems to be holding up. Oh, man, didn't save any of my stuff. We talked about like this higher VAP zone up here. I apologize. Let me drat. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if you can get up into here. Right? Makes sense. Watch it. DKNG. I talked about, again, oversold rallies. 50-day now. You have a multi-day, 2-day range in the 50-day, and resistance here. It's definitely worth spotting. Oh, come on. Definitely worth spotting this area. Keep an eye on see what happens. Again, it's an inflection point. That's the key about inflection points. You can short them or go long them. again, it's just an inflection point. Does that make sense? Airbnb, whole lot of nothing. Costco, popping, flopping, chopping, all over the place. Again, it's not leading up, which is curious. Starbucks, this one again for next week. Again, I've told people in the week before, I think it's gonna be choppy and sloppy. Is it, digest that big move? So be safe. FedEx talked about this yesterday on the recap. Wouldn't be surprised if it filled this gap. You got the gap fill. Let me just, again, I apologize, it didn't save all my drawings. Powder surge or some crap overnight. Woke up, my battery was chirping. I'm like, oh crap. And then boom. Yeah, not good. Caterpillar finally gets over the 100-day, right? Been waiting here. Holds it. I mean, if this is a big range, I mean, this is the hardest thing on a Friday. Fed speak. Not hardest thing, everybody. It's just worth watching. Again, I don't know if you chase these names. Definitely not in my mind. DE, we talked about this is a nice trade up off the range lows. Seems to be holding up pretty well. Could it get up in the 390s, 410s? Definitely worth watching. Nucor Steel. So we talked about this. Like, again, we like commodities long term. I mean, they seem a little oversold. Maybe due for a bounce if the market's rising. X. So we said leave this alone. It's going to be volatile. I like it in the mid 30s. I love it in the 20s. VALE, chopping around, right? Chop, 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 chop. Arrow, again, we like copper a lot long term. Seems to be holding up pretty well. I mean, IWM is up today, so a lot of these, like, smaller commodity stocks, definitely even KRE was up today. CCJ, interesting bounce today. Some of the rename names were popping, but it's a weird candle, doji on volume. It's worth watching for more information because it could be a doji sandwich or a pivot point. Just keep that in mind. CF, again, ag names have been typically lagging and chopping around. Not surprised that they're, every once in a while they get a little pop here and there, but again, long term probably makes sense. You could buy them here, but I just would like to, again, I'd try to be more patient. Not trying, going to be more patient here, just in general. Waiting, feels like it could be a bear trap. AA Aeron, again, we talked about good old aluminum. I like it long term a lot. I think aluminum's going to be going in everything. Just watch the range. XLF, you little bugger. I mean, interesting. Again, breaking out, I guess. Breaking out on a novice gap. Or is it a pro gap? Again, if you have to stop out, you stop out. If you like FAS in the 8s and the 9s, I don't blame you either. JP Morgan, again, they're not buying back their own stock. Why are you buying it? Good question. Morgan Stanley, again, because this feels like this could be a Friday trap game. Who knows? Chopping. It's kind of just chopping here at the gap fill. You can see all that. Bank of America, we talked about. Buffett sells into strength. Interesting action. Fills the gap. Hits the 50-day. Backs off. Goldman Sachs holding up pretty well. Chopping in this old range reference high. Carry, again, with the IWM popping, got a pop today. Interesting, the action, though, got back up into the range highs. In my opinion, the no doubt fail zone is up here. I don't know why it's so wide, but I guess, oh, that's right. Computer. It's worth watching. Is this a lower high? Is this going to continue? The wick was a little skeptical. I mean, I'm a little skeptical with that wick. XBI. Check this out, chopping at the range highs. Again, housing indexes, I mean, look at this. Yikes. Back at range highs. I mean, is housing going to just blow up now? I mean, rates aren't that much lower, y'all. I mean, they're at 6.5% to 6%, depending on what your lender is quoting. Watch this reference. I mean, again, it's binary. You love the references. That's what you need to be paying attention to. TAN, talked about solar being crap, but hey, I've been lagging. Rising. Yeah, some of these names got some pops today. TAN, Solar, Sedge, ENPH. Not surprised. Definitely like this short up here in time. I don't know. Again, it's a wide range. I know you'd have to hunt it. And for Solar, we talked about the 50-day. There you go. I think patience. Now, if it gets over it, don't be surprised if it gets the 240 range. Like that would be the next resistance right there. But this is the hard thing. If you want to go short, you want to go long, you don't want to do anything. I get that too. I mean, there's some times where the best thing to do is nothing. HYG, chopping around at highs, making new highs, and then it's like, what? Who's buying corporate? I mean, are you high? I guess they're expecting endless money printing. Oil, we've talked about this one, chopping around. It's going to be wide and loose. It's going to be a choppy, sloppy range. Someone who was leaving a comment below said, is this a potential range bottom for a trade? Looks like it. I mean, again, just define your risk. That's all I can say. I mean, there's no easy answer. Natural gas, again, I hate the UNG. Not surprised. It's dropping. KOLD, again, I like the short in the 80s, even 90s, even better. Worth watching again because I think long-term natural gas is an easy trade. XOP, this one's hard because it hits the 128, it's chopping around. It could be reloading. Yep, it could be, or it could be just chopping to fail. That's your guess as good as mine on that one. CVE, we talked about these gasoline names are just chopping. Valero and MPC have had some harder weeks chopping around with, I guess not really hard weeks, but a few days of down that were just like, goo. Now they're chopping back up. We'll see. ExxonMobil looked like it was about to break out. Backs off. I don't know. Occidental, right? This is the range lows. Should bounce. Should, keyword, should. EQT, right? Again, range lows should bounce. Keywords being should. Flex LNG, again, I like the dividend yield on this thing. It makes sense to me long term. So again, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. If you get a chance, pull up some weekly charts. Be thoughtful. Go through all of your charts. Go, okay, we know going into next week, you got some economic data. We know we're going to get close to the election. I mean, things are going to get squirrely. I mean, I have no doubt when you get the VIX go from 65 down to 14, that just boggles my mind. I've never seen anything like that. Not even close. And so I know we got a little bounce this week, but we'll see what happens. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. Always here to help. Love you guys. Have an amazing weekend. And if you've watched this video for the first time, hit the like button, subscribe. Let me know how I can help you. Have a wonderful weekend. Talk to you soon. Peace.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, stop by the Discord room. A link is in the description below. Also, if you'd like to help support more free content, the PayPal link is in the description as well. I appreciate your continued support of the channel.